The Cavs, though.
Cavs. Where should we begin? Any initial thoughts from you all?
What happened, Donovan Embiid? Like,
I
where
don't
are
think you can blame Donovan in this situation.
when can you blame Joel?
I agree with that. I don't think you can blame Joel that much either.
When can you blame Chris? Exactly, all these guys.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
that's where we stop that conversation. Joel Embiid has an excuse. Don't give it to me.
No,
No.
I don't think Embiid has an excuse. I don't think Mitchell has an excuse. I think this brings up the very conversation that you spoke to, Miguel, when we were talking about this in regard to Donovan Mitchell led teams. Now, do I feel like Donovan Mitchell led teams is so much an indictment against Mitchell's production? No, but it's the idea that like he can do all of that, but it's you if you don't have another player, if you don't have somebody else that is at maybe a more pivotal position, like I'm not sure how else to describe it, right? But like you can't say Donovan Mitchell isn't producing. However, his producing isn't necessarily leading to his team winning. It's just hard because I feel like he's putting them in a position to win, though. Like, so his production not leading to winning feels unfair to say it's his fault, but I get that the blame has to go somewhere. And
And
he's
I
I'm
don't.
not saying it's his fault.
It's
I'm
just
not.
that. Yeah, I think I'll say I don't believe in Donovan Mitchell led teams solely because historically we've seen that it hasn't worked. If he's a two man, if he's the if he's an other, if he is
if
a
he's the one
Robinson,
B, if he's the one B,
if he's the one B, I think a team could do great things. But him as a one A,
it's just not a
he plays his tail off. I used my one swear today. But it's just not enough to get over the hump. It wasn't enough to get over the Pacers. And man, Giannis couldn't get over the Pacers, which they're cooking. Before we get to the Pacers, the Cavs, injury riddled. You know, you could see DG was not moving like DG today. And
Mhm.
man, like Nemhart was moving like Nemhart. Neesmith was moving like Neesmith with a double-double. Like Halliburton, what the Hallie Burton, as you know, Rob 49 I said. But I don't know. I don't know. The Cavs, I was never a believer. And I hate to say it, but we're here now. I don't know. I don't know.
oh,
So
They,
what more can Donovan use? Because he's had teams where he was with Rudy Gobert, he was with Mike Conley, he's with Evan Mobley, he's with Darius Garland, he's got Jared Allen. What more does Donovan need?
he needs the others. He needs the others. So that leads me to this point. So did the series go this way because of I don't want to say it solely fell on game two, but you have Garland, Mobley, and Hunter out in game two. Garland clearly has never been the same, even since returning. And I'm pretty sure he really didn't want to return or feel like he was 100%, but tried to tough it out for the sake of the series. But when they were on the court, you know, we saw what made them a complete team, and we saw those games be competitive for the most part, you know, against Indiana. So is it just a matter of him needing that production to be consistent and sustainable from the others? Because actually, to your point, I feel like he's been given the tools and the resources and has had the complete teams to be able to do something. But I don't know if that comes down to him as a 1A just not being enough or his others having consistently given enough production to help get over the hump if his production isn't the issue.
Yeah, it's not his production. I'm not being unfair for you TikTok warriors. It's not Donovan's production. But like y'all are saying, I just don't know if he's 1A.
Yeah, that's fool. What do they do this offseason? Nothing,
Get healthy.
I guess.
Because what else do they need? I like Hunter. I wouldn't move anybody.
I wouldn't move anybody. I think they have a couple bench players that might be going into free agency. Like I think Ty Jerome, for example, is one of the
Yeah.
players. But honestly, I
He
think
just burned up that contract.
facts. But I think you run it back and you expect this team to grow. And the idea that like with the expectations and maybe with them knowing what they were truly capable of, maybe they just attack next season with a different type of rigor, or they'll just continue to fall into this. I mean, I don't want to look too far into the future, but whether you're Donovan Mitchell or whether you're the Cavs in general, Mitchell's been here for what, 2 years now? Or was this year three? Uh I think this was year three. Yeah, this was year
Feels like
to being in Cleveland. I'm not sure his contract situation. I had to look it up, but if they don't get past the second round in the entirety of his, stint here in Cleveland, by the time his contract is up, you might be having that conversation, or he might be looking at wanting to be in a different situation. Maybe he finally decides, let me go try to be a 1B somewhere as opposed to being a 1A. He might be getting to that point in his career. Who knows, right? But interesting offseason for Cleveland. I agree. I think what we all kind of alluded to. I don't think they move too much or have to do too much, but I think next season will be even bigger for them in regard to what they need to do to convince that the core they have is worth investing into more. But we shall see.